Laudetur Jesus Christus. A very warm welcome to Vatican Media's live coverage of the Pope's Angelus, coming to you from St. Peter's Square. And very shortly, the Pope will come out into the window of his studio in the Apostolic Palace to recite the Marian prayer and to greet the faithful below. Well, thank you for joining us. I'd like to thank in particular Catholic TV. Thank you for joining us. Catholic Faith Network in America, EWTN TV, Shalom World TV, Salt and Light TV, Atmada Sham TV in India, Luminous Radio in India, and Radio Maria, Papua New Guinea. Thank you for joining us, and for those of you who can see, I'd like to also thank all of you who are joining us via radio and app, television, internet, all these means of communication, bringing you and hoping giving you a taste of what's going on in St. Peter's Square right now, where very shortly the Pope will come out onto the window to recite the Marian prayer. As we can see, a lot of responsible social distancing going on in St. Peter's Square as people await the Pope's arrival. Many people just with caps on. It's still very sunny here in St. Peter's Square. Many people also with flags out there. There was one particular banner which was reading the community Laudato Si. As many of you may know, it's the season of creation, which is running from the 1st of September to the 4th of October. And it's now well underway with faith communities praying and organising events that are aimed at contributing to the protection of our common home. So that banner of the community there from Laudato Si. The Pope, yesterday even, he spoke to a delegation, the Laudato Si communities, and he spoke about contemplation and compassion, saying that they are indispensable ingredients for an integral ecology as proposed by his encyclical Laudato Si. Well, Pope Francis is now at the window of his studio waving to the crowd below in St. Peter's Square, and as always, cheers from them as they wave and also greet Pope Francis from St. Peter's Square.
Cari fratelli e sorelle, buongiorno.
Dear brothers and sisters, good day.
Nella parabola che leggiamo nel Vangelo di oggi,
in the parable of today's Gospel reading, which is from Matthew, that of the merciful King, twice we find this plea: be patient with me, and I will pay you back in full. The first time it is pronounced by the servant who owes his master 10,000 talents, an enormous sum of money. Today it would be millions and millions of euro. The second time, it is repeated by another servant of the same master. He too is in debt, not towards the master, but towards the same servant who has that enormous debt. And his debt is very small compared to that of his companion. The heart of the parable is the indulgence the master shows towards his servant with the bigger debt. The evangelist underlines that, moved with compassion, the master of that servant let him go and forgave him the loan.
Questa parola che proprio di Gesù, ebbe compassione. Gesù sempre ebbe compassione.
Moved with compassion, Jesus is always moved with an enormous debt, therefore a huge remission.
Dunque, un condono enorme. Ma quel servo subito
But that servant, immediately afterwards, showed himself to be pitiless towards his companion, who owed him a modest sum. He does not listen to him. He's very hostile against him and has him thrown him in prison until he pays his debt. The master hears about this and, outraged, calls the wicked servant back and has him condemned. He says, you, talking about giving pardon, and then this man cannot pardon somebody else who owes him money. In the parable, we find two different attitudes. God's represented by the king and the human persons. The divine attitude is justice pervaded with mercy, whereas the human attitude is limited to justice. Jesus exhorts us to open ourselves with courage to the strength of forgiveness. Because in life, not everything can be resolved with justice. There is a need for that merciful love, which is also at the basis of the Lord's answer to Peter's question, which precedes the parable.
La domanda di Pietro suona così.
The questions of Peter are like this. Lord, if my brother sins against me, how often must I forgive him? And Jesus replies, I say to you, not 7 times, but 77 times. In the symbolic language of the Bible, this means that we are all called to forgive always. How much suffering, how many wounds, how many wars could be avoided if forgiveness and mercy were the style of our life. Also in families. How many families that are not unified, that they don't know how to forgive one another, brothers and sisters. They have anger in their heart. It's necessary to apply merciful love to all human relationships between spouses, between parents and children, within our communities, and also in society and politics, in the church.
Oggi al mattino, mentre celebravo la messa,
this morning, while I was celebrating Mass,
sono stato colpito
I was stopped
di una frase della
by a phrase,
prima lettura
by the first reading
del libro del Siracide. La frase dice così:
the phrase was,
ricorda la fine,
remember the end.
smetti di odiare. Bella frase, ma pensa alla fine. Pensa che tu
Think of the end,
sarai in una bara,
that you're in a coffin
porterai l'odio lì.
and you bring that
Pensa
hate with
alla
you.
fine, smetti di odiare, smetti il
Stop
rancore.
hating. Stop anger.
Pensiamo a questa frase tanto.
Let's think of that phrase from the first reading.
Ricorda la fine,
Remember the end
smetti di odiare.
and stop hating.
E non è facile perdonare,
And it's not easy to forgive,
perché
because
nei momenti tranquilli uno dice
in
sì,
the
ma
moments, the calm moments,
o questa me ne ha fatta di tutti i colori. Ma anche io
and
ne
me,
ho fatto tante. Meglio perdonare per essere perdonato.
it's better to forgive.
Ma poi il rancore torna.
But that
Come una mosca
sense of anger
fastidiosa
just
nell'estate
returns.
che torna e
It comes
torna
back
e
and comes
torna.
back.
Perdonare non è soltanto una
Forgiveness
cosa di un momento.
Isn't just for this
Una
moment.
cosa continua contro questo
It's
rancore,
continuous
con questo odio che
against hate.
pensiamo alla fine,
We need to think
smettiamola di odiare.
of the end
La
and
parabola
stop
di
hating.
oggi ci aiuta a cogliere in pienezza
Today's
il
parable helps us
significato di quella
to
frase
grasp fully the meaning of
recitiamo
that
nella
phrase we
preghiera del
recite in the
Padre
Lord's Prayer.
Rimetti a noi i nostri debiti
And forgive us
come
our
noi li
trespasses
rimettiamo
as
ai
we
nostri
forgive those who
debitori.
trespass against us.
Queste parole
These
contengono
words
una
contain a
verità
decisive
decisiva.
truth.
Non possiamo
We cannot demand
pretendere
God's
per noi il
forgiveness for
perdono di
ourselves
Dio
if we in
se non
turn do not grant
concediamo a
forgiveness
nostra
to our
volta
neighbour.
il perdono al nostro prossimo. È una condizione.
It's a condition.
Pensa alla fine
Think of the
al
end,
perdono di Dio
the
e
forgiveness of
smettila
God,
di odiare.
and stop hating.
Caccia via il rancore, quella mosca fastidiosa
Let
che
go
torna e torna.
of all that hate, that anger.
Se non ci sforziamo di perdonare e di amare, nemmeno
If we do not
noi
strive to forgive and to love, we will not be forgiven and loved either.
fidiamoci alla materna intercessione
Let us
della
entrust
Madre di
ourselves to
Dio,
the maternal
preghi e
intercession
aiuti
of the Mother of
a
God.
renderci
May
conto
she help us
di
to
quanto
realize how
siamo
much we are in debt to
debitori a
God and to remember that always, so that our hearts may be
così da
open
avere il
to
cuore
mercy
aperto
and goodness.
alla misericordia e alla bontà. Angelus Domini, unciavit Maria.
Et concepit Spiritu Sancto.
Ave Maria, grazia plena, Dominus tecum, benedicta tui mulieribus et benedictus fructus ventris tui, Iesus.
Santa Maria, Mater Dei, ora pro nobis peccatoribus, nunc et in hora mortis nostre. Amen.
Ecce ancilla Domini.
Fiat mi secundum verbum tuum.
Ave Maria, grazia plena, Dominus tecum, benedicta tui mulieribus et benedictus fructus ventris tui, Iesus.
Santa Maria, Mater Dei, ora pro nobis peccatoribus, nunc et in hora mortis nostre. Amen.
Et verbum caro factum est.
Et habitavit in nobis.
Ave Maria, grazia plena, Dominus tecum, benedicta tui mulieribus et benedictus fructus ventris tui, Iesus.
Santa Maria, Mater Dei, ora pro nobis peccatoribus, nunc et in hora mortis nostre. Amen.
Ora pro nobis, Santa Dei Genitris.
Ut igne ficiamur promissionibus Christi.
Grazie a Tua, in questo Domine, mentibus nostris infunde, che Angelo Nunziante, Christi Fili Tui, incarnazione in coniovium, per passione meius ad crucem, a resurrezione gloriam perducamur, per Christum Dominum nostrum.
Amen.
Gloria Patri et Filio et Spiritui Sancti.
Sicut erat in principio et nunc et semper et in saecula saeculorum. Amen.
Gloria Patri et Filio et Spiritui Sancto.
Sicut erat in principio et nunc et semper et in saecula saeculorum. Amen.
Gloria Patri et Filio et Spiritui Sancto.
Sicut erat in principio et nunc et semper et in saecula saeculorum. Amen.
Pro fidelibus defuntis, requiem aeternam dona eis Domine,
Et lux perpetua luceat eis.
requiescat in pace.
Amen.
Sit nomen Domini benedictum.
Ex hoc nunc et usque in saeculum.
Aiutorium nostrum in nomine Domini.
Qui fecit caelum et terram.
Benedicat vos, omnipotens Deus, Pater, et Filius, et Spiritus Sanctus.
Amen.
Pope concludes the recitation of the Marian prayer from the window of his studio in the Apostolic Palace.
Cari fratelli e sorelle,
Dear brothers and sisters,
nei giorni scorsi
in the last few days,
una serie di incendi ha devastato
a series of fires
campo profughi di Moria,
devastated
nell'isola di
a
Lesbo,
refugee camp in Moria in
lasciando
Lesbos.
migliaia di persone senza un rifugio.
Thousands of people were left without refuge, without a
È
home.
sempre vivo in me il ricordo della visita compiuta là e
It lives with
dell'appello
me,
lanciato assieme al
the visit I
patriarca
made
ecumenico Bartolomeo
with the
e
ecumenical patriarch Bartolomeo
da Atene
to Lesbos
ad assicurare un'accoglienza umana e dignitosa a donne e uomini migranti ai profughi, a chi cerca asilo in
It's
Europa.
important to give welcome to all those
Esprimo solidarietà e
who need
vicinanza
help and care, all those
a tutte le
refugees.
vittime di queste drammatiche vicende.
Pope expressing his closeness to all those who have been victims of the fire
Anche
that
in
took place
queste
in
settimane
Lesbos, in the camp at Moria.
assiste in tutto il mondo, tante parti, a numerose manifestazioni popolari di protesta che esprimono il crescente disagio della società civile di fronte a situazioni politiche e sociali di particolare criticità, mentre esorto i dimostranti a far presenti le loro istanze
Talking about a number
in
of
forma pacifica,
protests that have been going
senza
on
cedere alla tentazione
in the last while.
dell'aggressività e della violenza. Faccio appello a
And he
tutti
makes an appeal
coloro che hanno responsabilità
that
pubbliche
even
e
making
di
those
governo di ascoltare la voce dei loro concittadini e di venire incontro
protests that
alle loro
they can be done without a
giuste
sense of violence,
aspirazioni, assicurando il pieno rispetto
that
dei
there can be a
diritti
respect
umani
for
e
human
delle
rights,
libertà civili.
and just have a civil
Invito
responsibility.
infine la comunità ecclesiali che vivono in tali contesti sotto la guida dei loro pastori ad adoperarsi in favore del dialogo.
It's important
Sempre in
to
favore del dialogo. E in
open
favore
oneself
della
up to dialogue.
riconciliazione. Abbiamo parlato del perdono, la
We've talked
riconciliazione.
about forgiveness, reconciliation.
A causa della situazione di pandemia, quest'anno
Because of the
la
COVID
tradizionale
pandemic,
colletta per la Terra
the
Santa
traditional collection for the Holy Land was postponed until today, 13th of September.
Nel contesto attuale questa colletta è ancora in più un segno di speranza.
In this context, this collection is a sign of hope and closeness to Christians who live in the land where the incarnate Lord lived.
Oggi compiamo un pellegrinaggio spirituale
Today we make a spiritual pilgrimage
con l'immaginazione, col cuore,
with our imagination, with our heart,
dove, come dice il Salmo, sono le nostre sorgenti, e facciamo un gesto di generosità
And
per quelle
let's
comunità.
make a gesture of generosity.
Saluto tutti voi, fedeli
I greet
romani e pellegrini
all
di
of
vari
you,
paesi.
pilgrims,
In
Romans,
particolare saluto
in
i
particular.
ciclisti
I
affetti
greet
dal morbo
cyclists.
di Parkinson.
Cyclists who are affected by Parkinson's
Hanno
disease,
percorso la via francigena da Pavia
who have
a
come from
Roma.
Pavia to Rome.
Siete stati bravi.
You've been really good.
Grazie della vostra
Thank you
testimonianza.
for your witness.
Saluto la confraternità Madonna Dolorata di Monte Castello di Vibio,
Community of the Madonna
che vedo che c'è
of Sorrows.
una comunità Laudato Si
And
lì.
Pope looking at a banner which
Grazie
reads the
per
Communità
quello che fate.
Laudato Si. Thank you for all that you do.
Per l'incontro di ieri
Thank you for yesterday's encounter.
qui con Carlin Petrini e tutti i dirigenti che vanno avanti in questa lotta per
All
la
those
custodia del
who go
creato.
forward in this battle.
Saluto tutti voi.
I greet you all.
In modo speciale le famiglie italiane
In a
che
special
nel
way,
mese di agosto si sono dedicate all'ospitalità dei pellegrini.
to those families
Sono
who
tante.
were hosting
E a tutti auguro
pilgrims.
una buona domenica. Per favore,
I wish you all
non dimenticate
lovely Sunday,
di
and don't
pregare
forget
per
to
me.
pray for me.
Buon pranzo.
Have a
e
good lunch
arrivederci.
and goodbye. Viva Papa, the crowd says. Pope waving to the crowd there, looking happy to see them on this Sunday. Well, that brings us to the end of our coverage of the Pope's Angelus from St. Peter's Square. I'd like to thank you again for joining us for the recitation of the Marian prayer. Laudetur Jesus Christus.
Are you looking for life-changing entertainment? Does what you see on most channels leave you feeling unfulfilled? Well, look no further. Shalom World TV brings the peace and joy of Jesus Christ to you, whether at home or on the go. To start watching, you don't need antennas, cable connections, or a dish. You probably already have what you need if you have a smart TV, such as a Samsung, LG, or Panasonic, or if you have one with an Android, Opera, or Roku TV operating system. These can be found on the latest models of Sony, Toshiba, Vizio, Philips, RCA, Sharp Aquos, TCL, Insignia, Element, Hitachi, Vestal, Skyworth, Changhong, Konka, and Hisense. You can also watch Shalom TV on most IPTV streaming devices, starting with the 4th generation of Apple TV and Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Mi Box, Amino, Humax, or on TiVo Box through the Opera TV store. Are you a gamer or virtual reality enthusiast? We've got you covered. Shalom World is on Xbox One, Razer Forge, NVIDIA Shield, and HoloLens. To start watching, all you have to do is go to the App Store, download Shalom World, and start being fulfilled by content that brings you into a deeper relationship with Jesus Christ. For more information on how to watch Shalom World on your TVs and devices, visit us at shalomworld.org/connectedtv. Have a smartphone or tablet? Take Shalom with you wherever you go. Again, by downloading Shalom World from the App Store. If you prefer to watch from your Mac or PC, get the Shalom World desktop app. Or you can always watch from our website, shalomworld.org. And guess what? Shalom World is absolutely free on all of these platforms. Yes, free. There are no download charges and no in-store app purchases required, ever. If you're looking for life-changing entertainment, you found it. It's here, waiting for you on your Shalom World.
Arise with nature and welcome dawn. Join the quiet waters and chirping birds in praising the Creator with soul-soothing experience of songs and meditation.